What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for May 29th, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. I do apologize if the sound is a little off. Allergies, cold, something is going on in my head, and it feels like it weighs 200 pounds. So I do apologize, but it is Memorial Day. And I want to take a minute to just say thank you to anyone who served, currently has served, or whatever. I truly appreciate it, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. But Memorial Day is a time for reflection and to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. So if anyone in your family, a friend, someone you were close to did give the ultimate sacrifice for us to be sitting here talking about sports, talking about cooking out, barbecuing, going to the beach, going to the pool, thank you ultimately for your sacrifice as well. We're all grateful, and if it's for the people that are willing to do that, and honestly probably things that we don't even know, to make sure we keep our freedom. So truly appreciate it. If you know or have a vet or someone who's currently active in your family, give them a shout out from me. And rest assured too, if you do or know that someone or has someone who did give the ultimate sacrifice, thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. So when you're out there cooking and grilling and having fun today, make sure you're remembering the true reason of why we have a day off today, and just reflect a little bit on those who gave everything so we could be enjoying those burgers and dogs. All right, Phillies update. Well, I turned it on. It was quickly 5-0, and I quickly turned it off. At the end of the day, they gave up 7 runs in that first inning. Don't really know what happened much after that because I did not watch it. It is what it is. Dylan Covey went 2.3 of an inning, giving up like 5-6 runs. Just as good as he was the other night, that's how bad he was yesterday. So they're off today. Then they got a 3-game set coming up with the Mets. Kind of a big series because we talked about moving up the standings and trying to catch the Braves. They did get the split like we had said we wanted, but the Mets are one of those teams now that are next in our crosshair. So I feel like let's just do it, pick them off one at a time. It's always fun when the Mets come to town too. So that should be a fun 3-game set this week. All right, it is Memorial Day. Father's Day is also coming up. Go visit our friends at phillygoat.com. Check out their selection of Philly sports-based apparel and T-shirts. Lots of selection for any of the teams, really. And one cool feature, too, I've been saying all week about dropping hints to your significant other or whoever. But if they can't decide for you, tell them they have gift cards. And, I mean, there's no shame in my game. Like, I welcome gift cards, like Golf Galaxy gift cards, things like that. Sometimes I'm just like, tell my wife, I'm like, gift cards work. So go on there, tell them they can print you out a gift card, and then you can pick out your own shirt, hang on to it. But phillygoat.com, use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. All right. Today, this day in history, we're going to go do a double shot, but it was on the same day. So May 29th, 2010. First thing we'll talk about, in Florida, the Phillies beat the Marlins 1-0. Roy Halladay retired all 27 batters he faced for the perfect game. It was the 20th in Major League Baseball history, the second in Phillies history. Jim Bunning did it in 1964 on Father's Day. It actually was the second one of the 2010 season, and it was only like a couple weeks since it happened before. Dallas Braden, excuse me, of the A's did it on May 9th. It was the 6th no-hitter, or 6th perfect game where no earned runs were scored. The Phillies' only run was scored on a 3-base error. So no earned runs in a game. That's only happened, or no earned runs during a perfect game. It's happened 6 times. All right, so part 1. Phillies beat the Marlins 1-0, but the big story was Roy Halladay pitching a perfect game, the second in team history, 20th ever in Major League Baseball history. Meanwhile, up in Chicago, it was Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals against the Flyers and Blackhawks. Blackhawks won 6-5. Poor goaltending was the story in this game. The Flyers led 1-0, 3-2, then 4-3 before Michael Leighton got pulled. It was ultimately the very opposite end of the spectrum from what Roy Halladay was doing for for the Phillies. But 6-5, the Flyers would go on to lose that series 4-2, ending their magical run. That was the year they had a couple upsets. They were down 3-0 to the Boston Bruins, battled back to tie, and then quickly got down 3-0 in the first period in Game 7 before coming back to win that. But it was not meant to be. So on this day back in 2010, we had a perfect game from Roy Halladay, and the Flyers lost Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals 6-5 to the Blackhawks. All right, Sixers playoff spotlight. We're slowly winding down. In a couple days, we'll be turning the page on the Sixers, probably rightfully so. But the 2017-2018 Sixers, they were coached by Brett Brown. This is the first year they made the playoffs as part of the process. They went 52-30, third in the division, third in the conference. What got hot, if you remember, I completely forgot about this. They got super hot at the end of the year, won 16 games in a row going into the playoffs. One game once, so ultimately they won 17 games in a row that season. At one point, Joe went to his first All-Star game. That was the year they drafted Fultz, where Danny Ainge basically got us. He's still laughing about it to this day. But Joe averaged 22.9 points per game, 11 rebounds. One Ben Simmons had 8.2 assists per game back before he was broken. They did beat the Heat 4-1 in the first round before losing to the Celtics 4-1 in the second. Our hopes were high. We thought, okay, this team is going to do it. Ben's going to learn how to shoot the three. Joe's going to be dominant. Maybe they trade or bring some guy in, Jimmy Butler, that's going to help put them over the top. But then we all know what happened. But the 2017-2018 Sixers were the first team to make it with the process. Quick housekeeping note, if you want more Sixers, this week's Back to the Future, we talk about Larry Brown and Allen Iverson and their relationship and kind of what went wrong and how it could have been fixed. So be sure to check that out, Back to the Future with a PH. Also, be sure to check out phillygoat.com. Great for Memorial Day shopping, Father's Day. The gift cards are available. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. No Phils today, which is probably a good thing. Kind of lick their wounds and kind of rest after that debacle that was the game yesterday. But enjoy your Memorial Day. Be safe out there. Take a moment or two to actually reflect and realize and remember why we are celebrating. And anyone who has an active or retired military person in their family, tell them I said thank you on behalf of the podcast and everything. Truly, truly appreciate it. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Memorial Day. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.